Hi there, I'm Laurie Jinkins, Speaker of the Washington State House of Representatives. I represent the 27th Legislative District, which is most of the city of Tacoma and the entire city of Ruston. We just recently finished a House of Origin Cutoff, so we've been very busy here in Olympia. House of Origin Cutoff is the day in which bills that originate in the House of Representatives all have to move off the floor of the House of Representatives in order to stay alive and be considered by the Senate. There are exceptions to those rules, but it's a very big day where we're trying to move a lot of bills. Luckily for us, the House Democrats, I think, did a great job of focusing on our 4 priorities. The first of which is making sure that we strengthen Washingtonians economically and help everyone come out of this pandemic strong when it comes to the economy. The second is serving Washingtonians better and improving the services that Washington provides to folks who live here, and making sure that folks can easily access and understand the services that are available to them. Third, we will continue to be focused on achieving racial equity and justice. And finally, the threat of climate change is upon us, and we have done so much this year to continue advancing on that priority. And I'm very excited about these 4 categories of areas that we're focused on and how much progress we've made. Well, this is really about moving everyone in Washington forward. What we see is when we have tough economic times, tough times like the pandemic that we have lived through, folks who go into it doing pretty well frequently come out doing pretty well, but folks who go into it not doing very well come out much worse. So we want to make sure that everyone's lives are improving. The last bill that we passed off of the House floor before cutoff was a great bill by Representative Pat Sullivan, which will establish a revolving student loan program, 1% student loans. We can't end all financial debt for all students in Washington, but we can make it a lot easier for students to be able to access the resources they need to go to college, to go into an apprenticeship, whatever they want for their next step, and become a great contributor in Washington State. I'm really proud of that bill. We also passed a bill earlier this session on doing loan repayments for nurse educators. We know we've got a huge shortage of healthcare workers out there, and we needed to do as much as we could to be able to educate more nurses and get them out into the workforce. So this will also help in that. Well, serving Washingtonians better is really about making sure that our fundamental services to Washingtonians, things like our education system and making sure that we have the backs of families at every level in Washington State, is what we're doing. We really are focused on serving Washingtonians better. Cindy Ryu had a really great bill that we moved off the floor during cutoff week, which, because I've heard from a lot of constituents about catalytic converter thefts and that issue happening in nearly every neighborhood in Tacoma and across the state. Representative Ryu's bill will make sure that those who are purchasing catalytic converters are doing checks to make sure that they are purchasing catalytic converters only from people who have actually owned the car that it comes from, rather than that have been stolen or are trying to be resold. So I think her bill will move us along quite well in trying to do some protections for Washingtonians there. Well, this is a topic area where it's taken us a long time to get where we're at, and it's going to take a long time for us to shift into a new place. But we know that it is not okay when you have people who are being discriminated against, or maybe you have family members who can't really engage in the systems that I just talked about to help serve Washingtonians better. So Representative Tina Orwell, for example, had a really wonderful bill this cutoff session that made sure that we can get more language access services to parents in the K-12 system. We have too many parents who aren't able to really engage and help their own kids learn and navigate the education system because English isn't their first language. So providing better language access will help those parents be more heavily engaged in their kids' education and will help all of our kids move forward. Well, this is an area that's been incredibly important to our caucus for the last number of years. And we did a great number of things on everything from making our appliances more energy efficient to making our buildings cleaner, doing more energy efficiency standards across Washington state. The biggest thing that we've done, though, is Move Ahead Washington, our transportation package, which is investing over $5 billion from the Climate Commitment Act into green transportation projects of every sort you can imagine. Everything from electrifying our ferry system, opening more safe schools routes, to bike and pedestrian work, to having more buses, more bus lines, and more transit opportunities for people. We will also be doing a lot on maintaining our road system and also building some more new infrastructure with this package. This package is the greenest package that's ever been produced in Washington state and is probably the most important thing that we'll do this year to advance on climate change. Well, for the first day, the focus was for me to take to sleep a good night's sleep. That doesn't happen for the whole week that we're in floor action because we're working really late into the night. But we will now be looking at Senate bills that have come from the Senate and considering those while they're considering our bills. We'll start passing those off of the floor as they move out of committee. But our focus will remain on these four topic areas: strengthening people's economic vitality, serving Washingtonians better, addressing racial justice and equity, and really combating climate change. We'll keep our focus no matter what issues come before us.